Day 3472. That's how long it's been since I heard another human voice. Since I've seen another face that wasn't my own reflection staring back from broken windows and abandoned mirrors. My name is David Chen, and as far as I can tell, I'm the last human being on Earth. You want to know what silence sounds like? Real silence. It's not the absence of sound. It's the presence of everything else. The wind through empty streets. The creaking of buildings slowly surrendering to time. The skittering of rats in the walls. The distant crash of something falling in a house where no one lives to hear it. But never, never the sound of another human breath. I keep talking to myself, recording these messages, because I'm terrified that if I stop speaking, I'll forget how. That my voice will become as extinct as the rest of my species. Sometimes I catch myself having full conversations with mannequins in department stores, and for just a moment, in my peripheral vision, I swear they nod back. Do you know what the hardest part is? It's not the fear, or the hunger, or even the crushing weight of solitude, it's the doubt. The constant, gnawing uncertainty that eats away at your sanity like acid. Am I really alone? Am I really awake? Some mornings I wake up and for just a few blissful seconds, I forget. I reach for my phone to check messages that will never come. I make coffee for 2 out of habit. I call out "good morning" to no one, and in the echo of my own voice, I hear the ghost of 8 billion people calling back. The worst moments are when I find evidence of the world that was. A child's drawing stuck to a refrigerator with magnets shaped like dinosaurs, a wedding ring left on a kitchen counter next to car keys that will never turn another ignition. A book lying open to page 237, bookmark still in place, waiting for eyes that will never return to finish the story. These fragments of interrupted lives follow me through empty houses like accusations, asking why I'm here when they're not, why I get to continue when their stories ended mid-sentence. The city looks different now. Nature is patient, but it's also relentless. Vines crawl up the sides of skyscrapers like green fingers reclaiming what was always theirs. Weeds push through sidewalk cracks that have widened into small canyons. Traffic lights still blink red, yellow, green, red, yellow, green, but there are no cars to obey them. Just me, walking down the center of what used to be busy streets, my footsteps echoing off empty buildings like gunshots in a cathedral. I've learned things about the world that no textbook could teach me. I've learned that without humans, automatic systems run for about 6 months before they start failing. Power grids collapse in cascading blackouts. Water treatment plants overflow. Gas stations become monuments to a civilization that forgot how temporary it all was. But I've also learned that some things keep going. Somewhere, in some hidden bunker, servers still hum with the collected knowledge of humanity. Radio towers still broadcast emergency signals to no one. Satellites still orbit overhead, taking pictures of a world that no longer has eyes to see them. The animals don't miss us. That's what strikes me most. The deer walk boldly down Main Street now. Wolves have returned to places they abandoned centuries ago. The ocean is clearer than it's been in generations. It's almost like the planet is healing itself, washing away every trace that we were ever here. Almost. I wonder sometimes if this is how it was supposed to end. Not with wars or disasters or cosmic catastrophes, but with a simple fade to black. One day there were 8 billion of us, and then, there was just me. I don't know how I survived when everyone else didn't. I was at home that Tuesday morning, calling in sick to work with what I thought was just a bad flu. I remember feeling dizzy, feverish, like my body was fighting something off. I slept for 3 days straight. When I finally woke up, the world was silent. The first few weeks, I thought it was temporary. I thought people were in hospitals, or quarantined, or evacuated to somewhere safe. I drove from house to house, neighborhood to neighborhood, city to city, calling out until my voice was raw. I found cars abandoned in the middle of highways. I found doors left open, meals half-eaten on tables, children's toys scattered in empty playgrounds. But I never found bodies. That's what haunts me most. Where did everyone go? Did they just vanish? Turn to dust? Ascend to some higher plane I couldn't follow? The absence of answers is more terrifying than any answer could be. I've developed routines to keep myself sane. Every morning, I check the emergency broadcasts, still nothing but automated messages and dead air. I maintain a small garden behind what used to be the public library. I've collected books, thousands of them, because I refuse to let human knowledge die with me. I read aloud sometimes, to keep the words alive, even if I'm the only one listening. At night, I climb to the top of the tallest building I can find and light a fire. Not because I think anyone will see it, but because fire is proof that intelligence still exists in this world, that someone is still here, still fighting against the entropy that wants to erase every trace of human existence. But the loneliness is a living thing. It follows me through empty shopping malls and silent movie theaters. It sits across from me at dinner tables set for one. It whispers in my ear that maybe I'm not the last human alive, maybe I'm the first to die, and this is just some elaborate purgatory where I'm forced to walk through the ghost of the world I once knew. I've started having dreams where I hear voices calling my name from just around the corner, just beyond the next building, always just out of reach. I wake up running through the streets, chasing echoes that exist only in my sleeping mind. The disappointment when reality sets in is like drowning in slow motion. Sometimes I find signs that I'm not completely alone. A door that I'm sure I closed standing slightly ajar. Food missing from my carefully organized supplies. Footprints in the mud that look almost, but not quite, human. My rational mind says it's animals, or my own failing memory, or the slow collapse of buildings settling into new configurations. But my heart wants to believe something else. Last month, I found something that changed everything. In the basement of what used to be the Centers for Disease Control, buried under files and forgotten reports, I discovered a research project codenamed Lazarus Protocol. The documents were fragmented, water-damaged, but what I could read made my blood freeze. They had been working on something. Something involving human consciousness, digital preservation, neural mapping. The final entries talked about a successful test, about volunteers who had undergone the process. About a new form of existence that transcended physical form. What if everyone didn't die? What if they simply moved on? What if I'm not the last human alive, but the last one still trapped in flesh and bone, too stubborn or too broken to follow them into whatever comes next? The thought keeps me awake at night, staring at the stars and wondering if somewhere, in some dimension I can't perceive, 8 billion souls are looking back at me with pity. Am I the survivor, or am I the one left behind? I keep talking to you, whoever might be listening to this recording, because I need to believe that human stories matter, that our struggles and fears and hopes deserve to be remembered, even if the only witness is the wind through empty buildings and the slow decay of civilization. But here's what really terrifies me. Here's the question that haunts every moment of every day: what if I'm not recording this for future generations to find? What if I'm not the last human alive, documenting the end of the world? What if I died with everyone else, and this is just the echo of a consciousness too afraid to let go? What if you, listening to this right now, are just another ghost in the machine, another fragment of a dead world pretending it still exists? What if there is no last human alive, because there never was anyone alive to begin with? The silence doesn't answer. It never does. But lately, I've been noticing something else. The electronics around me have started behaving strangely. My radio picks up fragments of conversations in languages I don't recognize, but the voices, they sound almost human. Security cameras in empty buildings track my movements when they should have no power source. And sometimes, when I look at reflective surfaces, I catch glimpses of faces that aren't mine looking back for just a split second before they fade away. Maybe I'm losing my mind. Or maybe, just maybe, I'm finally starting to see what's really there. And then there's the dreams. Every night now, I dream of a vast digital space filled with billions of points of light, each one pulsing with consciousness, with memory, with the essence of who someone used to be. In these dreams, I can hear them calling to me, their voices like whispers in an endless electronic ocean. They're telling me it's time to let go, time to join them, time to stop clinging to flesh and bone and become something more. When I wake, my hands are always reaching toward the nearest screen, and for a moment, I swear I can feel warmth radiating from the cold glass, like the touch of friends I'll never see again. But somewhere in the distance, I swear I can hear footsteps that aren't my own.